Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so I'm kind of showing you this. I got some tools here, some random. It's really just like the intake, um, the lower intake manifold that I have inside there and some other shit. A lot of this stuff isn't things I'm going to be using. I already have it over here that's been modified to work with that. But I guess the reason why I'm doing this is, well, one, I need to get this shit done, and two, God sent me a message. So I went to Panama. I'll probably put this little video up real quick. We were just, walking down this bridge, this suspension bridge. Like, and oh snap, trying to videotape and thing, man. Next thing you know, I fall off and kill myself. But pretty cool that shit. Whew. We were just, went to Panama for the day. I mean, for 5 days. But anyhow, when I was in Panama, seeing like, what the hell is that? And then that. And then that. That son of a bitch. Apparently, this house is a little older. When they installed it, they put in nails. So nails tend to let go, especially when there's gravity, and that's what happened. So I had, a lot of that, and another part on, like here on this little quarter panel, it got, these scratches, very faint. I need a painter anyways, but I take it as God, giving me a sign to hurry up and finish this damn car. So with that being said, I'm coming in here. I already got, like some boxes lined up. Like this is gonna be my valve train box. I just want to disassemble her, get her cleaned up, get the bottom end open, and really I just want to get this done. So and then, I can transfer what I need to there on there, and then get rid of whatever's not good, and then box up the rest. I doubt them heads are good. It kind of sucks, but I believe I can use those heads. There was no hitting on that piston that came out of there. So that's one. Then the other thing, I was doing a little bit more research, because this shit kind of throws me off. And I've had two rods that look like that. And you see what's crazy about this is that it's not, like symmetrical. It's like I guess, I don't know. So if that was rubbing inside there, then ultimately it should show some type of signs in there. So it doesn't. Now the other thing that I'm gonna have to double check is see if those other pistons. So anyways, if there's no rubbing in there, then these are probably machined like that, or if they put them in and that's how they balance them, I don't know. It seems kind of funky, but here, let's do this live. Well, it's not gonna be live after I upload it, but let me take one of those rods. I know I put the wrist pins in, but I never thought about putting in the rod into a stock thingy. But all the pictures that I've seen on online, they're all straight like that, But you see, if I put it in, if I put it in, it's got a lot of clearance, So, well, I guess, I should be fine. Hopefully this piston, I'm trying to see, this is like the old one that was kind of messed up. See if I can do this one-handed. So slide in your wrist pin from this side. I'm gonna probably have to do this like, well, you know what? I'm using one that got disintegrated, so next thing you know, it's got a burr on the edge or something of that nature. Go back here to my fucked up bench because I got so much shit going on. I don't even have time to clean up. I tried doing a little cleanup, and that's why I cleaned up like this area so I can come in here and do this. But alrighty, so go. Oh, is the wrist? No. Okay. So I already got. All right, let me do two hands. 1 second. All right, so I needed my socket back in that to tap it out, but basically, here goes the aftermarket rod, and made it to a stock. Yeah, I mean, so that's fine. It's just very odd that those rods have, this is the demolished one that just completely twisted and snapped, but how that, is the same way. But regardless of what, here goes the new setup once I'll be done, and hopefully I make 500 easy. I need to double check these pistons to see if they're the same as the high revs, because then that means that these pistons can take 600, but 500 in this car is more than enough, especially with the torque band of this. So all right, let me get back to just take off these outer components, get like that off. Well, that could stay on, but flip it over, and actually no, I'll take off the head first, and then whatever. But I still got to get up this whole timing cover. There's like freaking 8 million bolts here, so it's like when you first look at it, you get kind of discouraged. But fuck it, we're going into it. All right. So one of the reasons why it's so hard, I don't even feel like setting up a camera to do like time lapse, even though whatever. Like this is this little guide. I was using some adjustable wrench, and I was able to get this popped off. So you lock one there and then go and basically lock it off. But I had to bring a pipe wrench for these exhaust cams. I don't know, they're pretty freaking tight. So you have one breaker bar, then lock this. Just basically do that, and I have that pipe wrench that I put on here to give me some leverage, and then once you pop it, you can get it out like that. But yeah, I don't know, these are kind of very hard, so it's kind of crazy. But come in there, because I need to take off these cam gears, so then I can get to the timing cover bolts. Once I get the timing cover, which is pretty much almost done, they should be built in. Yeah, they are. These look like oil passage galleys from the oil pump down here. I guess it maybe shoots around, does some crazy, because you can't see this one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, you see how the galley goes up to the tensioner here, and then I guess it goes to go to both heads, which in turn, like this one will go to the VTC solenoid, and then what I noticed on the rev up head is they don't use oil pressure anymore. They're using what's that thing called? Magnetic. So we just energize it, and then it will phase out the cam. So that's cool. We don't lose no pressure. But with this we'll do it. But yeah, I don't know. So far so good. I don't know. But all right, that was just my little thing. All right, guys, back to disassembly. All right, so just a little update, check-in, whatever. Here goes all the timing components. Generally what I do is when I put stuff in, the way I'm looking at it in the motor bay is how I put it. So of course that's passenger side, driver side, and then there goes the intake and exhaust, cam gears, and then now I'm up to here right now. I just need to find, it looks like it's like a 10mm Allen ring. I have a long one, but it's, if it's too long, it won't give you like the direct. So I want to see if I get a shorty, get it in there, and then pop these, and then I can pop this head off. And to tell you the truth, the hardest part that I say, oh, and then here goes like my camshafts, same thing, passenger side, driver side, then the cam caps. This is actually one cam cap with the VTC solenoid kicked in. So that is the oil gallery that comes up from the tensioner through the head. And remember when I was talking about those oil galleries? Well, in the back, it from here, it's right by the water pump, right? Yeah, right by the water pump. It's got a a hole there that feeds into the block, and then through the head it then feeds up, to the boat. So that's why I guess that's so big. And then I guess that might be a return, anyhow, or it could be another feed. I don't know, I didn't really research it. Actually no, it looks like it is a return. So feed, return, or I don't know, fuck it, who cares. Yeah, so I got basically disassembled here now. What I'm looking to do, like I said, get that, pop those off. And one other thing that I'd be doing, I don't know if you guys remember from a long video, I ended up pulling, see how that's just a block plate? I have this bad boy here, which is, I guess, sort of like a little upgrade. It's on the, there goes that plate. I'm going to be putting that there. What that does, that helps pull hot water out of the block. It should be, like a pool, but that is on the, what are those people called? The Pathfinders. They have that passage, so I don't know why they didn't incorporate it on these cars, because these things like to run hot. I hate that shit. So anyhow, I'll be putting that on, and then also there's another trick they can do using high rev gaskets, and then you open up one of the water galleries, just so you can help get this motor cooled down. So I think that's really the killer with this motor, besides weak rods. But in terms of design, I think once you get the temperature under control, this shit is pretty solid. I mean, of course, since it's an open deck, there's some limitations there, but I don't know if I'm gonna do a block guard yet, because that shit's like $300, and I don't know if it's really necessary for it. Quite honestly, I think I might just suck it up and get it, just to have some extra added protection, keep from them cylinders wobbling a little bit. But we'll see what's up. And that's about it, what I have here. Alright guys, alright, so it looks like I'm gonna be done for today. Basically these head studs are like 10 millimeter. I have like a 3/8, and I didn't want to try it, but I ended up trying on one and just started to slip. So I'll wait till I get the right one. So at least now the only thing is pop off those heads and then start breaking down the bottom, and I really have the block, so I can go and open up the ring gaps and then come back. There's a note for me, because when I was popping off this front timing cover, this one was here, and I was thinking in my mind, I saw like this hump, and when I was prying it, it was coming forward, and I'm like, all right. So I kept on coming, and I guess whoever worked on this motor before didn't put back in these bottom bolts. So it's kind of like I know I took them out on that one. So what do you call it, I didn't think that until I took it off, then I saw those, and I was just like, oh, okay. But anyway, mental note for me. But yeah, but anyways, I popped these off. I think I might do a little stock port and polish, a mild port and polish. Clean up this exhaust. I could gain some material there. The only thing, it's just so much work, and for 500 horsepower, it's really not needed. So then again, I may not. But even if I just take a little, flap wheel in there and just kind of just open it up a little bit, and then kind of clean up the inside and rough it up. You want the intake to be rough, and then you want the exhaust to be glass, because you want the fuel to kind of cause turbulence, so the air fuel mixes better. And then with the exhaust, you just want that smooth, just like whoosh, coming out. But anyhow, that's where I'm at right now. So at least I got a little bit done. Hopefully, God doesn't send me any more messages. I'm trying, bro. So alright guys, alright, so I ended up getting the, what do you call it, socket that I needed to take those bad boys off. Ended up taking, going underneath, and now I'm stuck at this part. I need to get these sockets. But there go thrust washers right there. Let's see if there's so I guess there's only thrust washers here on the back side of the motor. But anyhow, yeah, that's where we're at now. So once I get those, and I can pop that out, and then we'll see what happens next. All right, so it's the next morning. I ended up running to Lowe's real quick. They didn't have it the single E14, but this kit's pretty decent. You know, it's all impact, so I got all my hex, Torx, you know, some, what do you call it, just screws, and then bigger hex. But the big ones are right here, these E-Torx, external Torx. So I mean, I only needed this one, but then again, I also needed one of these drives. I don't know, it should be in like something like a 10 mil, but anyhow, for 36 bucks, you know, with tax, everything, like 39.57 or some shit. But it's good because I got all that money from winning on the what do you call it, I went to the, what's that thing called, casino. So, but anyhow, so I got all this, so now I can take off the mains and then start popping out what do you call it, some rods. Here we go. Alright, so I already popped out one. Crank drones look good. The rod bearings have a little wear. I'm gonna replace those out, you know, just for comfort. But one of the things is, make sure you mark your pistons before you come out, because you want to keep the same rings with the same cylinder, as well as the piston. You know, just because due to they wore, you know, the wear and tear of it before, since you're just doing basically like a stock rebuild. But anyhow, so I'll just keep on popping all these out. After I do that, I just gotta take off the pump, the oil pump here, and then as well as the rear main seal, which is gonna be not too bad. I can get it in there. But once I pop that out, and these are already loose, I just gotta tap them with the rubber mallet. Then I can pull out the crank, and then I'll have me a bare block. So then I can, you know, look and see what needs to be done. Well, nothing should be needed to be done there. Never checked on top already, but I'll do a thorough. So, alright, so I got this guy fully disassembled. You can see the squirters there. I'm not going to play with anything in there. Hold on one second. Alright, so here goes top of the cylinders. You know, you can still see cross hatching on that. Just the ridges of the top just need a little cleanup. Not too bad. You know, it's really not too bad, but just, you know, clean up the top. Yeah, and so this block is pretty damn good. I just ran into one fucking issue that I'm kind of pissed off about, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. But basically, I was pulling out this piston, and it was I guess, you know, one of these ridges, it just got kind of tight with the ring and everything, and I had my what do you call it? Yeah, so I was tapping it, and then I couldn't get, and the next thing you know, that bitch just let go and fell and cracked the skirt there. So I'll replace that one out with possibly one from that block, maybe not, or I'll probably just get one from this block, since that shit's already like halfway disassembled. Just pop off that head and, you know, do that. So kind of PO'd about that, but whatever. I'll just mic it out and find a piston that's closest to that one. I mean, being that there's not too much wear and tear on this motor, you know, we can see that whatever, you know, the pistons should work just fine. But besides that, nah, she's good to go. If I didn't fuck that up, I could have just started popping off rings and, what do you call it, opening up the ring gap. But whatever, small shit. I could at least do that, because then I'm gonna buy new rod bearings, new main bearings, and new thrust washers. Just give it, you know, like a little freshen up. I mean, the bearings on the mains, actually there was one in question. You know, that's like normal wear, but it was on number 4. You see that? I don't know if that discoloration or you know what, but it doesn't have any ridge or anything, but you can kind of see it was like that. And then the other thing I had noticed was on the bottom, man. Guess, let me flip this motor again. Oh, never mind, it wasn't that. I think maybe, I don't know, are these motors hand built too? Like the damn thing. The only reason why is because you see how this is cut out, like someone, you know, did that. It's not clean, like, well, I mean, I guess it could be, but that bridge was cut out, and then so was, you know, like this one, and I guess that was the only one. But anyhow, I was looking at that and I was like, man, I wonder if that's you know, if it was grinding on the crank, but I don't see no rubbing on the crank, so we're pretty good. I guess now, like I said, just get some new mains, rods, and start gapping these rings out. So, all right. So, good thing for that spare motor, I was able to pull out un pistone, pulled out this piston from there, and so I mean, the only thing that I hate because of this is because, you know, the motor was balanced from before. So I don't know, maybe what I'll do if I get too extensive, I can remove this, weigh this, and see if they're ideal. That's something, I mean, shit's pissing me off every time more and more I think about it, but I'm not gonna buy new pistons. So but anyways, I got that, and then I also got another midsection oil pan. I don't know how you call it, but the funny thing about it is this one has a revision to where it has like a baffle on the oil pickup. So because this one was broken from before, and that one is obviously toast from my explosion. Well, actually no, this is the one that was exploded. That one is the one that came off, and it was missing that ear over there, which it really doesn't do much, but you know, because it's missing this ear, and all it is, a plate just goes there, but I want to get it, you know, looking good. So anyhow, I'll be using this midsection. I mean, everything should be the same. It's the same block, you know, whatever. I already mounted it up to the bottom of the engine block and everything lined up, so I think I am good to go. But just this thing's kind of pissed me off. You know, I should before I leave it there. Even the rods, you know, they're same. Just one has two things. I don't. Yeah. Well, this one came from down there. That one has two dots too. So that's probably, you know, something like, this is maybe 75 grams. I don't know. Oh man. So at least I, you know, got some spares. I'm not gonna worry about, you know, the difference in weight, because I don't think it's gonna be that much. But what I'll do is I'm gonna weigh the pistons once I clean them up, and then weigh the rods, and then, you know, basically figure out how to intermix them so they're all around the same weight. And then if they're not around the same weight, making that the opposite of it is the same weight, so that, you know, what do you call it, that force that's acting upon it won't throw it out of wobble, it'll just balance it out, you know, just two forces is against each other, whatever. I don't know, I'm thinking I'm like fucking in physics and shit. But anyhow, at least that's all done. So now I gotta go to Fort Lauderdale and drop off some people. But, and then I was looking at that water pump. I don't know, it just looks pretty compared to this one, who didn't really change oil, but whatever, it's all good. Then I need to get those cams out too. Well, I'm gonna measure those cams and see if, you know, they'll work on the head, which they should, and then get those other cams out and pop them. At least, you know, I just gotta pull off the cam caps, and that's what's up. So, all right, wait.